Red Robin. Yum.
Yum.
Yeah, that sounds so good though. What's going on, guys? My name's Kellen Popineau.
My name's Kyle Popineau.
And this is the Popineau Brothers. Thanks so much for joining us. We got a really fun topic to talk about today.
Do we?
I just don't know what it is. But I know it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. So hunker down.
All right, so here's the plan for tonight. I want to know who you are. So I want you to introduce yourself, but I want to ask you some questions about how did you get into this? What's your involvement in it?
Okay.
What?
That's a really good idea. All right, bet.
That's why I had it.
So who am I? What are you kind of asking?
So obviously you're my brother, but what do you do for a living?
Right now I work. I'm not gonna say I work. If sees this, is
say you work
he's employed by us. I am employed by a generic coffee shop and department store combined. I am technically employed by the generic market store, but I manage the internal generic coffee shop.
Is it a green logo?
I declined to answer pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights. Also, I like being employed, and I don't think they would appreciate this very much.
Does it have a mermaid?
We'll just
siren technically.
We'll just call it hashtag sips and trips.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so what's your involvement in the gun world? What's your involvement in the protector lifestyle?
So I'm actually relatively new to the whole gun community, protector lifestyle. Growing up, I always loved shooting guns. I thought it was a lot of fun, but never really took an interest in actually owning a firearm. I think 2020 changed a lot for a lot of people, including myself, where it's like, ooh, this is maybe something that I need to take a little bit more seriously, put a little bit more thought into. Like maybe I do need to own a gun. And so recently I went through the whole shebang of purchasing a firearm, and then I actually ended up assembling it as well.
And that's something we're wanting to do some videos on too, like how to purchase a firearm, specifically behind enemy lines in communist California. And then how to build I can't even say it, I get choked up. California compliant neutered firearm.
Yeah, there's a couple options there, and both of them suck as far as building California compliant arms.
Oh yes, we love you, California.
No, we don't. But anyways, I've recently purchased a firearm. I've recently assembled it. And so now I am actually engaged in the gun community as not necessarily a card-carrying member, but I've been really excited about getting a lot of different equipment, loading up on ammo, training with my firearm. I've already done a lot of training in the past with, firearms that weren't mine. But now that I have my own, I want to get super duper comfortable with it.
So what does that look like for you? Like what training have you done?
With my own personal firearm that I purchased recently, I haven't done any. But
sure, you just got it recently.
Right. So we're gonna be hitting the range here end of February, I believe. And so I have plenty of ammunition to go out there and train with my gun, get comfortable with how it feels. Maybe some different tweaks that I need to make on it, different gear that I might want to have a part of it, different gear that I might want to have on me. Get comfortable with the gear that I have. That way, in those crazy moments, I'm not thinking about, okay, what sling should I be using? What kind of light do I need to have? How should I have it configured? All that different stuff. Like, I'm just like, I've already got that figured out and I'm ready to go.
Right. I think too, you talked about, even before you bought this gun, the training that you want to have. Let me preface it with this. I have taken and paid for actual classes and gone to classes and I've loved those.
Okay.
But I also have subscribed to the Warrior Poet Society network where he actually has videos and you've watched those.
Yeah.
So, you've done some things talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, I've used firearms in the past to, do those different Warrior Poet Society trainings. They have a lot of really great rifle training.
They do.
I personally don't have like an overwhelming love of handguns specifically, but I do love rifles. To me, they're more comfortable. They're more accurate.
Sad. It's so sad because you're missing out on so many good guns.
Oh, I don't think I am personally.
Okay,
But-
well, let's fight about this in the comments. Are you a pistol person or are you a rifle person?
I would even clarify that.
Are you a handgun person or a rifle person? Well said. Well said.
Fight it out, boys. Anyways, no, I've done a lot of training with my brother-in-law. I've done a lot of training in my own home in kind of simulated situations. But I would be excited to actually go out and actually send my love downrange.
Hey, I'm into it.
Planting freedom seeds.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so you're kind of new to us. I mean, to be totally transparent, like we do not know everything, right? We're both fairly new into it. I've been into it maybe a little longer, but
A lot longer.
The reality is, I need training. I still need training. I think every person needs training when it comes to handling a firearm. Every person, regardless of your current abilities, you need more training.
100%. And I think even if you were to ask like a Navy SEAL, like some kind of special forces operator about like, hey, do you think you would still need additional training? I'll bet you 10 out of 10, they're saying, yeah, I can still learn more. I can still improve. I can still push myself further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I hope we get to see over the course of this channel is it's not going to be exclusively podcasts, but we really do enjoy this format. But I think it's going to be cool to watch like some of the training that we undergo and how that like impacts what we're doing here and how it impacts us as carriers, as husbands, as protectors. As,
I'm not a husband yet.
you keep driving that home. So ladies, can we please fix this?
Come on.
Cool. So then, what do you like to do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I actually like to read up on different gun stuff.
No, it's so fun.
It really, like, I never thought I would be this fascinated with firearms. It's like firearms was kind of a novelty thing, but at the end of the day, it was just like a thing out there. But now it's like, now that I'm an owner, I can take part in this, and I don't know.
What was it that like got you into it? That like
to actually buy,
yeah,
literally buy in.
Right. What was the literal buy-in for you?
The literal buy-in for me was 2020. It scared the crap out of me.
Okay, but
Not so much like the pandemic, like, oh, you're gonna get COVID or whatnot. But I'm talking more about the summer of love, where
civil unrest.
yeah, the fiery but mostly peaceful protest.
I'm stepping on them tonight.
Well, move your foot. No, that for me was a really big thing where riots were breaking out in like super random towns. And I know being in Orange County where we are, it's a really populous place.
Yeah.
At any point in time, a riot could break out in or around my house. And I need to be able to defend myself. And I was asking myself the question, like looking in the mirror, am I able to do that? And truthfully, the answer was no. And so as a man, like I need to be able to take ownership of these different things and own the fact that, hey, I have a shortcoming here and I need to shore that up.
So what was the first step to shoring that up?
Honestly, just researching what's out there and what I might like.
Yeah.
And I mean, every gun owner is at least a little bit vain in their choice of gun. I'm
Some
no
of us are very
exception.
vain.
Yeah, well, you like wooden guns. I like tactical. Yeah, you like grain on your handle. I like grain in my bullets. Oh, that was so good. That was really good. That was a good dig.
I mean, I'll be real. I do like wooden guns. There's something about steel and wood and them being together, and it's such a great combo. And there's something about being tied to the past in it as well for me. Like I really enjoy that aspect of it. But the tactical stuff is kind of fun too. I won't lie. It's especially when it runs really nice. Like a good trigger, a nice bolt carrier group.
Oh, a Landtech nickel boron bolt carrier group paired with a CMC 1.5 pound trigger.
Oh, that's really light.
Be still, my heart.
Okay, but then you alluded to there was this moment that you realized in 2020 that you needed to shore up.
Right.
The next thing was study up. Then you got into it, but you admitted earlier there became a fascination. So how did the fascination start? What specifically was fascinating about it?
Well, anyone that's known me for more than a week knows I tend to be kind of obsessive about things. Where
It's true.
when I dive into something, like I dive in, I want to know everything there is to know about everything there is to know. And so like when I started researching this, I found that I was really liking what a lot of people were saying about the AR-15 platform. How it's very modular. So if there's something on it that I don't like, I can probably change out that specific thing, but leave everything else the same.
Right.
I like the fact that most parts are readily available. Now, granted, we're in California, so some parts aren't available to us. But for the most part, getting high quality equipment is a manageable thing to do, even in California.
Yeah.
And then I also love the level of affordability, because the parts themselves usually don't cost all that much, especially since, my first build was a more of a budget build. I mean, we're talking Palmetto State.
Sure.
But now I'm going to be working on a second build, and this one's going to be a little bit more Gucci. I've researched a lot of different, not necessarily top of the line everything, but I really want something higher end because I want something that's going to last me through the apocalypse. Like I pull a trigger, it goes bang.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily just like a Gucci gun, right? I think what you're doing is saying, hey, I recognize that I need quality parts. Mm-hmm. And I don't care whether it's, and we're going to get into this at some point, I don't care whether it's grilling or it's guns. I don't care if it's camera equipment. Like good gear, buy once, cry once.
Yeah. Yes.
Like good gear is usually just worth it. Now, I understand like we have budgets, and so it's good. Ball on a budget as best you can.
Yeah.
But then if you're gonna if you're gonna risk your life, if you're gonna trust your life to a mechanical device, I want to know every time that I do something with that device, it's gonna work.
Absolutely. And I think it's cool to also have like maybe those more cheaper, affordable options.
Yeah.
Bear Creek Arsenal. They don't make bad things.
Right.
Granted, some of their quality control could use stepping up, but for the most part, like I have a Bear Creek Arsenal upper receiver, and I've never had an issue with it.
Yeah.
Now, am I wanting to trust my life to it? Maybe not. But is it a heck of a lot of fun to throw that on the lower and take that out to the range and shoot around for a little bit? Absolutely.
I'm actually really excited to see what, I know this isn't anything having to do with you, but like I'm excited to see what Taurus is doing. I know I mentioned it a couple of days ago on Instagram, but like there's a really good read in Guns and Ammo magazine. It's called Bullfighter, and it's like their spread is all about
It's like a 38 special, a 9mm, and then something else?
Yeah, they did a whole spread on Taurus and how they're changing the game, and so I think there's something cool to be said for quality at a price point.
Yes.
And so I'd like to maybe even do a video at some point of reviewing some of those guns versus other things.
Yeah, if we can get them in California.
Oh, freaking California.
Because right now, the law in California, I'm hoping St. Benitez helps us out here. We have a handgun roster, and there's like, 300-ish?
I don't remember.
I want to say there's like 300 handguns that we're allowed to have. And the only way to add on a new firearm to that roster is for it to have single point micro printing along with a bunch of other safety features. And the ironic thing is, not a single gun on the hand roster meets those requirements.
Yeah.
So it's
and every time they add one, they have to take 3 off.
Yeah.
So it's a whole thing.
It's a backdoor gun ban, essentially, on handguns. So depending on whether or not we're even able to get them in California, I would love to maybe reach out to somebody who does have them somehow and see if maybe they'd be willing to come and show us what's up.
Maybe we need to travel. Take this show on the road.
I like that idea.
Hey, we'll see. Okay, so we covered what you do for work. We covered what you're into. We covered how you got started into this. Mm-hmm. What do you want to see out of your journey with firearms?
That's an excellent question. For right now, it's just shoring up my ability to protect myself. From then, like if I want to start collecting, like that's an option to me.
Yeah.
If I want to start, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I've been looking a little bit into gunsmithing
Oh,
and like how to actually like get a license to do that because I love building. It's so much fun. I've built Legos since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's fun to tinker around with things and to make something your own. And that would be interesting to me at some point down the road.
Yeah.
I would love to be incredibly proficient with my firearm. Like bar none, that's my main goal. I want to be proficient with my firearm. And then from there, it's pretty much open-ended.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, this one won't be long. We'll kind of cut it up here. But you got to meet a little bit of, you got to see a little bit more of Kellen, who he is and what he's into. And we look forward to bringing you more content. But do the thing. Ring-a-ding-ding.
Hit it.
Hey, don't forget, be safe, stay free.
Red Robin. Yum.
Yum.
Okay, that sounds so good though.